Hello and welcome to yet another special edition of The Slipper Still Fits. It's finally here, folks. It's March. It's March Madness time, and we are lucky to be joined by the former Gonzaga guard from 2014 to 2016. That's Eric McClellan. Eric, man, thanks for giving us some of your time, man. I know it's a busy time right now.
No, absolutely, bro. And like we prefaced before the show started, I'm so glad that we got to do this and catch up with Zag fans and you guys are family. So glad to be here.
Absolutely. You're an all-time Zag. Fans love you and love hearing from you every time they get a chance to. Maybe some fans aren't aware, but you are now a grad assistant over at Florida Atlantic. You followed former Gonzaga director of basketball operations, John Jacobs, who's now the head coach at Florida Atlantic. You guys are getting ready for your own sort of postseason experience right now with the NIT. Congrats on receiving that bid, Eric. The Owls open up the tournament actually in Boca Raton against number one Dayton on Wednesday, which I should say is tomorrow, 4 p.m. on ESPN2 if you want to check that out. But what is your your first season on the bench been like? What have you been learning under John?
Yeah, man. So it's been a whirlwind. Um, I was kind of confused as to what I would like to do going
Hmm.
forward. I retired,
Yeah.
and this opportunity presented itself. And John, he's a good mentor of mine, a friend, a big brother, and it kind of just happened at the perfect time. And I'm so happy to be here. It's been such a fulfilling role for me to be around basketball, but to mentor guys, to help guys in this space become better basketball players, but more importantly, become better young men. So um, we've taken our lumps, but it's been fulfilling. It's been so much fun learning from the staff, learning from our players. I've had such a tremendous time.
Yeah, totally. And John actually was a assistant coach before at Baylor. That's your home state, Texas. So you were maybe a little disappointed that you didn't get a chance to coach or be beside him with Baylor, but very exciting to see that you're having tremendous success over at Florida Atlantic. You kind of mentioned this, and I want to get more into it. You didn't really know what maybe the end goal in all of this is. I'm assuming maybe down the road you kind of want to be a head coach at the D1 level. Is that something that you dream out of? If so, what's your coaching strategy look like?
It's weird, man, because when you're in it as an athlete, at least for me, all I thought about was the improvement uh,
Hmm.
on my game. I never wanted to be a coach. And I think a lot of former athletes and now turned coaches, they have kind of the same stance. And now that I'm on this side of the basketball, I'm a novice again, I'm a beginner. So I'm learning daily. And so I don't know. I know that I'd like to coach going forward. And I think John and the rest of the staff, those guys deserve a tremendous amount of respect and credit as it pertains to, my future in coaching because I get to learn from those guys. My staff is great. We all get along. We bounce ideas off of each other and we just talk bump, man. That's the thing about our staff. I mean, a lot of successful staffs as well, but we just love hoop. But I'm so far from being a head coach or a
Of
Division
course.
One head coach.
Yeah, you're just in the
And
beginning.
absolutely. And John is obviously um I was coached by Tommy and Fuey. B Mike's gonna make a hell of a head coach one day.
Yes, sir.
And, and now John. So I've come up under the tutelage of, great men. And, I'm kind of the what's the term I'm looking for? I'm the beneficiary of great men.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Um, I got a long way to go.
No, yeah, you do. But like you mentioned, a lot of great names that you just mentioned to learn from, to grow from. And we've seen it from you during your playing days, the good old days. You started out actually at Tulsa, and then you went to Vanderbilt, and then finally made your way to Gonzaga, starting in 14 all the way through 16. Ultimately, why did you want to become a Zag? I'm assuming some coaches just reached out to you. Maybe it was Feely, maybe it was Brian that just really clicked for you when having that opening conversation.
Yeah, man. So long story short, when I was dismissed from Vandy, I went back
Mhm.
home and then a very close friend of mine from Tulsa, actually, Shane Hireman. I went to go stay with him. He was an assistant at La Lamere Prep School.
Hmm.
And I went to go stay with him for 2.5 months, 2.5, 3 months, just to kind of stay out of trouble and kind of lock in and focus on some things going forward for my future.
Mhm.
And Tommy was actually my recruit. Tommy was the first one to come visit me. He was the first one to contact me. And I always tell this story. Those guys fought tremendously hard for my future, right? Like I had a bunch of schools, but none of them knew what it would necessarily take for me to attend their institution.
Mhm.
And Tommy and Huey and B Mike and Steph and Ryan Oliver, they all did a great job. I had to take AA classes or community classes,
Yeah,
community classes. I had to get my AA because I was sitting out the second semester, and I had to jump through a lot of hoops just to attend Gonzaga. So while I had suitors, Gonzaga fought the hardest for my future.
just shows how much competitive nature in you and grit that you had to do that bounce back after, that rough start, rough beginning at Vanderbilt. Having all the success now at Gonzaga and now in your start of your coaching career shows a lot about you, man. I really thank you for sharing that. Jumping ahead, because it's now March, we got to talk about it. You're jumping ahead to your first March Madness experience. That first time you stepped out on that court in Seattle at actually, I think it was the then Key Arena as
That's
the
right.
number 2 seed against number 15 North Dakota State. What do you remember about the first time out being out there and what was going through your mind at the time?
I was just enamored with our team, first and foremost. I mean, we just from the top with Kev and Gary, they were such
Yeah,
tremendous leaders, such tremendous people, right? Just character, just beautiful people, and it kind of trickled down to the rest of the guys. I mean, we had 13, 14 pros on that team,
yeah,
and we're just you know, the team itself, they were so selfless, so gritty, so competitive, as you mentioned. And we just cared about each other. And then, once we stepped in between those lines, I mean, we all have practice stories. We hated each other, right? But it was love at the end of the day, obviously, but it
yeah,
was
yeah,
about iron sharpening iron.
yeah.
And uh that's something I miss the most about just playing, man. Just kind of being in the locker room with the guys and stepping on the floor, competing against each other, and then obviously with each other. But yeah, the first March Madness memory that I have is just our practice. The shoot around before the game, and you know, emotions ran high because I understood my role on that team. Obviously, it wasn't large, but I was
Yeah.
just tremendously happy being a part of it all. Right, just kind of failing up, if you will, right? Just going from Vandy to somehow landing at Gonzaga, and we're this powerhouse now, and obviously they achieved a lot way before I got there, but um,
Yeah.
just the moment of not taking it for granted, and
Mhm.
then just having fun with it because those memories are memories that I hold today and that we still talk about as a group.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned that you kind of did not have a big role on that 2014, 2015 team that went to the Elite Eight. But that next year, you did have a bigger role. And once Kevin Pangos and Gary Bell Jr. and Byron Wesley left, I was actually at school at that time at Gonzaga. You averaged 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in your final season with the Zags. Is there anyone on this season's team that you kind of sort of see in yourself? Maybe a similar playing style to you?
I mean, not necessarily, and that's honestly a compliment to those guys. I mean, I think Ryan is, I think he's the best point guard in the country. I think Nolan has taken leaps and bounds in his game,
Mhm.
more on the mental side of basketball as well, his leadership, the intangible things, and then they have athletes. They have Battle,
Yep.
Yai. I mean, Big G down low,
Hmm.
still doing his thing, and then I think Dusty has come along as well, and then Braden Huff. I'm so proud of those guys, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they've weathered so many storms this year, and this is typically when they start to turn up, when they start to kind of turn that page. And I'm happy for them. I'm so excited for them. My wife and I, we never miss a Zag game, so uh,
Nice.
I'm forever keeping up with them.
Yeah, I love that you still watch the Zags on a daily or on a gamely basis. That just shows how deep the roots are in this program. Given the amount of experience that you've had at Gonzaga through March and all that, what kind of advice would you be given to a current Zag on what it takes to win in March?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously they have continuity on their side, right? They have their starting backcourt returning, their starting big man returning, and then they're adding two or three key pieces at those wing spots. Uh,
Hmm.
First, I would just say let it rip, man. Like this is the best time of the year. In my estimation, March Madness is the best sporting event ever. Like it's
Facts.
the Super
Facts.
Bowl, better than the NBA finals, it's better than the World Cup. It's amazing. And obviously it's a privilege to play on that stage and but that stage is earned and they earned that. So I would just say have fun with it. There's no pressure. Let it rip, have fun, just hoop. And then, secondly, just being on the rope together. Everyone has to be on the same page, which I never worry about with that program.
Mhm.
Huey does a great job of recruiting the high character guys with high competitive spirits. So those two things, being all on the same page, and then just having fun.
Yeah, yeah. Now I want you to put on your kind of coaching hat. What have you noticed that this season's team does really well and something that they really have to focus on in order to not get knocked out of the tournament early? I know Gonzaga's really had their ups and downs throughout this year, but in March, you have to be damn near perfect.
Sure. I mean, I think their offense is humming. I think for the most part all year. I don't know what their offensive rating is, but it has to be high.
Yeah, it is. I think it's off the top of my head, number 9 in Ken Pom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like when you watch them offensively, they have no weaknesses. They can
Mm.
shoot. I mean, for the most part, and that's one of the things that they've probably struggled with the most. But um, obviously, Ryan at the point, they get efficient shots. They're not going to take bad shots. They're not going to beat themselves. And then things that they could probably focus on are just like defensive coverages, things
Yeah.
like that, like being more intent on that side of the ball, climbing up into the ball, being more physical. Obviously, that's just how we're coached at Gonzaga. Like, um, no pun intended, we're dogs, right? So, uh, just just being tight on those coverages, and then obviously the things like rebounding, um, and then getting shots on goal. Obviously, they'll do fine in that area. But yeah, defensively and then rebounding.
Speaking of dogs, this is a Bulldog versus Bulldog first round matchup against
Right.
number 9 Georgia Bulldogs. Gonzaga received that number 8 seed. Have you had any chance to look at Georgia, and what do you think is something that they do well, and what is something that Gonzaga needs to do even more better than them in order to get out of that first round? Because the SEC was one of the best leagues and most battle tested league in all of college basketball.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they have about 14 teams in the
Yep,
tourney.
14. Yep,
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, they've been battle tested. They have wins over what, like Texas, Kentucky.
yep, big names in the
Uh,
NCAA March tournament.
and I actually read somewhere on Twitter a couple of days ago that their leading scorer, big man, he chose Georgia over
He
Gonzaga.
did. Austin Newell. Yes, he did.
That's right. And he's having a hell of a year. So obviously he's the most dangerous man on the scouting report. But that team is really good, right? They got guard play. I think they're athletic. They can run up and down. They can guard multiple positions. They can rebound. Um, so I think our experience, we're gonna have to lean on our experience. And then again, just our skill. We can play with anyone in the country. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys have 6 or 7 games where you lost by 3 points or
Yeah, near 1, 2 points. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm expecting a really good game. I was actually surprised that Gonzaga got an 8 seed. I thought they deserved a higher seed.
I thought it was going to be around the 6 or 7. So a lot of Gonzaga
Yeah,
fans were a little bit more disappointed on that. Yeah.
yeah. I was kind of surprised, but yeah, I'm expecting a hell of a game. I think that's a great matchup. And if we can get past Georgia, I like our
Hmm.
chances.
Yep. Houston would be in that next round potentially as the number 1 seed. Don't want to look too far ahead. Taking one game at a time,
Sure,
of course.
absolutely.
Eric, man, you're an all-time Zag. Gonzaga fans love to hear from you. Really appreciate it. And get some rest, man. And good luck in the NIT tomorrow. All right.
I appreciate you, and I'm rocking the FAU shirt, and
Hey.
it kind of feels like
Go
sacrilege.
Owls.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you again for having me. I miss all you guys. Good luck in the tournament. I'm thinking about you, and I'm visiting Spokane soon, so can't
Oh,
wait to see
nice.
you.
Appreciate you, Eric.